The majority of people in this bull cycle will be fooled into likely selling great early. And in the most recent film, it's all about maybe a long cycle. This chart now shows all of them are men. The bull market will get stronger until 2026. This chart was supposedly made by our 1875 guys 150 years ago, and it seems to be right on the money. However, it says that the next high point will be in 2026, which is a good time for higher prices and selling shares with a wide range of values. This is why it's strange I believe in the Riddler, but these guys don't. You know, if your men do, but a red alert in the area did say that it was okay to hold off until this year. A good number of people are either going to sell Q1 or Q4. But what if we cross for longer until sometime in 2026? Guys, this is why we shouldn't try to time the market. Instead, we should just ride the waves. People are talking about how a recession is just around the corner, but if something like that happens, they'll clearly take everything back in an instant. This could happen again in 2020, and Rob Powell thinks that most crypto buyers are still traumatized by the 2021 bull run and may sell way too early in 2025. He showed us our idea to get everything turned on its head. Wouldn't it be great to trick everyone? This would make things go for longer and better. Interesting lets you focus on this. We've been in the last run. When most people who were in the last cycle were asked about it, they said they had terrible PTSD because they remember the 2017 cycle. In 2017, the market rose in March or during tax season, then went down, and then it went up 10 times in 4 months. You had to try to explain things to us correctly. So last time I also thought, okay, we see the correction during tax season. Then the rally back up turned into a huge correction down 50, then it shot up and everyone thought, okay, it'll be 2017 again. But it wasn't because the big banks were starting to pull back on their liquidity. The business cycle had been pushed forward by the huge amounts of liquidity, but that was the end of that. So now when you cross on X and see people, they may be so stressed out because of that I think a lot of them will push tax season to March and then get caught out. Then they'll hope for an early top, and maybe it does happen for my liquidity work. Still, it shows that it peaks at the quit of the year or close to it. What happens to liquidity, though, could change this. But if you just think that the risks are here, then the people who sold out in 2026 are likely to be the ones who are right. It's possible that they messed up and left too soon like I did in 2017. When you try to buy it back, you find that it has been sold again for a much higher price. That's what happened to me. I finally bought lower back in COVID during that crash. I was going to give it in for $6,000, but I sold it at $2,000. Wow. We are thrilled to say that the same real thing men with XRP, when I told them not to do anything about the dollar range, not many people actually bought. And I also told them not to do anything because what if it keeps going up? Usually market men do the opposite of what people think will happen in the market. In place of the agreement, that is what is being said. I've heard that a lot of people are going to support Q1 2025 in the year 2025. Not a single person has said 2026 except for the red warning in US proper, which is very pretty. That is, as I said, the process I went through to get out of energy and into weak spot difference was in the form of an earthly exponential rise in the difference between the peak and that dip. Okay, guys. Yes, I did say that I think we'll understand because I actually tweeted out to guys what I believe will happen. Okay, I trust that XRP will hold on to a rise so that even if there is a recession, we'll still be in the double digits. This idea became stronger if the USDT chart dominance went down to around 3% and the VIX went down to around $10 as well. But this tells me if a black quarter is just around the corner. Until all of that happens, we stay bullish, or at least I do, and if a crash does happen, we even buy extra right. Therefore, we will always be on the right side of rough records, no matter what direction the market also goes. Though it's a bit of a joke, I personally believe that the current bull cycle will continue to be regular. After this cycle ends, a new financial tool will be created with cryptocurrencies, right? From our personal points of view, utility tokens and coins are showing signs of crossing the chasm towards more integration of virtual goods into the general financial environment. Okay, to this end, creators quickly turned into visionaries. Where are we now? So are we going over to the early majority right now, or are we already here, guys? Okay, everyone has their own reviews, but people may get tired of you after a while. This is where a lot of the profits are made by the first people to use new technologies and maybe even the early majority before the new financial machine is fully formed. After that, the profits probably drop because the risk is lower because the system is already stable. That's why they give you rewards for joining early, guys, even though it's very risky, right? Without a doubt. This doesn't always happen to me, though, because I think we'll build a new furniture machine from all the papers we've looked at or study men from the movie's unique proof in the pudding we've seen so far. So CZ, the founder of Binance, says that countries will print money to buy Bitcoin, which will be used to set up strategic Bitcoin stocks. We're going up so much. Wow. Therefore, CZ guys, the person who is an insider, he used to be inside the know. I don't know if he is anymore, is basically saying that countries will print their own money out of thin air so that people can buy Bitcoin. Okay, they probably make their own fake money bigger and use it to buy Bitcoin. Now, if that happens, other people will also want to buy Bitcoin because it could have a domino effect. A piece of foreign money dies, the other one does well. Then he says that the countries might be building up Bitcoin funds for future use. For those of you who don't believe it, if all of these things come true, we will cross for a lot longer and higher than most people think. Most people agree that the bull market will end this year in Q1 or even Q4 at the earliest. What if you have to move longer? I haven't seen anyone else think that except for one character. And that character is very short on a list from 150 years ago. So Prince of Service says that nation states are already adopting strategic Bitcoin reserves. This is happening behind closed doors, and this is how we'll reach heights that have never been seen before. We need Bitcoin to rise right now. Since I think Bitcoin will keep going up, I think XRP will go over $200. If we see a million according to Bitcoin, it will be easy when acceptance comes with a lot of paperwork. You know, from just mining to save money to a medium-sized business, I think the only place where people aren't definitely interested is in the next El Salvador. El Salvador was an exception. This year, I think we can also get a wonder. I hope so. But we'll see that uptake in mining is growing all the time. It's happening all the time at the geographical level. It's happening in secret. It's happening in public. And the next one people are talking about right now is a strategic reserve. Keep the value that is already going on behind closed doors or that is about to start happening in the open while it starts to show up in the open. When you realize this, you can see how it will have an impact on the field of vintage recreation theory. But I'm the only thing I need. I mean that I'm more interesting are the ripple effects of medium-sized trade. That's some interesting writing. It's like a domino effect. As soon as one US does it, the others are forced to follow suit or will fall behind. Because of this, Trump is the main puppet master of this new economic tool. Because the United States is at the center of the world's most advanced financial system, you should be pushing Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies like XRP, which can also be made in the United States. This will cause the prices of all cryptocurrencies to skyrocket. It looks like this year is going to be a big one for that. And that's exactly what the white paper says. There's no doubt that it's a peer-to-peer Bitcoin system. That's what we're here for. But we need to understand that it works better as a store of value these days than as a medium of exchange. This is because of solutions like Liquid Lightning, which let us make transactions more quickly and for less money when fees are high. However, we need to stay true to the core idea of what Bitcoin is and that its most important chain is its security.